Hi, Tiffany. How are you?
Good. How are you? You look
Good.
beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Nice to see you. How is everything going?
Good. You know, it was just the weekend and I unplugged from technology, so it's very fitting that I'm back on this amazing interview about women's empowerment and empowerment in general with you. So, how are you?
I'm very good. I went to the mountains, Chandra
Mhm.
from Mantari. So we went to her house in the mountains. It was great. Recharged a little bit, but happy to be back. Scared to look at my inbox. Well, not scared, but a lot of stuff has probably happened. So I have to dive into that.
Yeah. Well, it's a good balance, right?
Yes, yes,
I
yes, yes.
always say being a human means being good at balance.
Exactly, exactly. So, what? Just in the beginning, I just would love for you to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, what your background is, to anyone that's listening.
Well, I am Tiffany Panhilason Schmidt. And I am on here because I am the president of Mantari USA's Human Trafficking Survivors Empowerment Program. And, some may know me as an actor, and I call myself a warrior of light, which is another definition of an activist. And really here to be of service and be a guidance to help shift humanity into a higher timeline, right? I mean, look at what's happening in our world right now. What better time to be aligned and to be of service to one another?
Exactly. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. I love that you didn't just say, like, I'm an actress and that's it. I love that you have like multiple definitions of who you are that kind of like have more meaning.
Yeah, and I think too, like all of us, right? Like as soon as we're born, we're given names. We're given, you are this religion. You are going to be called and labeled this ethnicity. And I feel like as I've gone through like my ascension journey, I call it, I've really just been kind of shedding away all the labels because we're all such multidimensional, beautiful beings with so many different aspects of ourselves. And I think that's what's calling right now, to embrace all of us. Like you can listen to country, you can listen to rap, you can do yoga and like listen to hip hop. Like you can do all of it. And I feel like sometimes like it's just we have all these labels and us humans think like so linearly, right? Like we attach like, oh, she looks like this, so she must be this way. So thank you for highlighting that because I've really been working on that to make
No,
sure that
that's
I come
amazing.
from like a conscious when someone's like, who are you? I'm like, I am so many things. So yeah.
Okay, Tiffany. So my next question for you is, you have such a busy life and you do so many things with your life. We see you on Instagram, you're always busy, you're always participating in something. How did you have find time to be a part of Mentari? Like, how did you make that decision? And can you tell us a little bit about their mission?
Well, I think it's more about like how I chose my like it's I think a lot of the times it's like when you're an entrepreneur or you're an actor and then you have kids, you have, a husband, you have pets, you have all of these things that as humans like we put onto ourselves so it could feel so dense. Like I have this joke with my friends of being like, God, sometimes being a human is so tiring. And then when I change, yeah, right? I feel like such an alien. And I'm like, being a human is so tiring. It's so much. And when I center myself and I realize, you know what? Like, I get to choose what I put my time into. So for me, it was very easy, aside from my passion for the arts. And that's why I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be able to be a part of, as an actor, you're one speck of the whole village that creates these beautiful films that reflect what's happening in our world. And that was kind of what drew me into acting, was to be able to be a part of this village that told stories. And it goes with the same thing with my passion of being of service to others. Like I am just one part of the community that is Mantari. So yes, I'm the president of Mantari, but it's like Chandra, the founder, really birthed Mantari. Mantari means the sun. So it's kind of putting a light in such a quote unquote deep state dark um, issue that's happening in our world. It's the fastest growing criminal industry. It's a multi-billion dollar, and it's kind of with what's happening with the pandemic. It's happening to every single race, every single age, every single ethnicity. It is a global pandemic in a sense, if you can, if you want to connect it with that. And so for me, it was kind of being of service. Like, what do I want when I wake up every day? What do I want to do with this human life that I've been given? And that was really to be like, it was easy for me at a young age to be like, I want to leave an imprint, like, I've been given all these gifts. We've all been given all these gifts. Like, we don't get to take it with us when we transition. So why not just, gift it, right, to this world? And with Mantari, our mission is to really we have created this beautiful safe space for human trafficking. I call them thrivers now, not just survivors, because they're thriving in life. And it's, we're pretty much every step of the reintegrational process back into the community we are involved in. So every beautiful human who has been just victimized, like I can't even fathom just thinking that another human can do that to another human, and like, I'm shaking as I'm saying that, but it literally, like, it hurts my heart to know that humanity has come to this point where we're doing this to our own brothers and sisters and children, And with Mantari, we just want to, we are that beacon of light, activating all that light in such a dense place and issue. And so we help with reintegration. And so what that means is, every human trafficking survivor every case is so different. Everyone comes from such different places, whether it's labor trafficking, sex trafficking. It goes on forever, all the different cases. And so either if someone needs to go into therapy, or someone needs to kind of just start the basis with being able to feel safe in a home again and trusting. So we go through not only therapy, it's like we have art therapy, we have our wellness programs, we have our empowerment programs, which one of them is the culinary arts program. And it's like, what better way than to have food? I always say food is such a common language. Like, you don't have to know what each other is saying, but when there's such good food in the table, you're like, you want to share it with everyone. So that's an amazing way that we've found so much success with guiding people to reintegrate back into a community and feel safe. So that's, and also like financing programs where we kind of guide them back into the world, right?
As I was saying, I really love what you just said, because I feel like a lot of people, when they think about human trafficking or sex trafficking or any kind of trafficking, right, they think about the negative and they think about the people's stories of what they went through. But I love that you guys really focus on the positive, and you focus on giving people hope that, life can be, again, positive, fulfilling. It can be something, that good things can happen into their lives. So I love that you have those programs that kind of empower them to take their life back, and build something like on their own terms. So I think it's so beautiful. Yeah. So what drew you to this specific area? Like, why this? Why not, saving animals or something with sustainability? Like, why did you choose this?
Mom will definitely tell you I've saved enough animals. I've literally adopted dogs, and I'm like, Mom, don't you need another one?
Mom, I found a puppy.
Yeah, same thing with me. It's kind of like this running joke with my family, saving animals. Like, one time in Point Dume, when there was a drought and all the seals were like washing up, literally my heart, I think I like called the hotline every day to like report seals, so they can pick them up or like help them and feed them. I was that person.
Oh,
They probably knew me in like by voice on a first name basis. Like, she's calling again.
Oh,
Like, there are 3 seals at the bottom of the 3rd stat.
Please rescue them.
Power A, power B.
So your quota for animals, yeah.
Right. I was born in the Philippines, so growing up, also my mom was a journalist and news anchor. an anchor woman. So like what a powerful divine female to like look up to, right? And I heard so at a very young age, all the different things that's happening in the world. And human trafficking was one of them. And it just blew my mind. And I always would ask, like, wait, other humans are doing this to other humans? Like, how? Because I never understood, and I still will never understand. But it comes from such a very dense place. And the question for me now is more like, why not? This is the fastest growing criminal enterprise in our world. Let me say that again. And to me, it's more like, why not? How can you not? Like, when our brothers or sisters and children, millions of people all over the world are going missing and are being trafficked, labor trafficking, sex trafficking, the list goes on. It's just, I couldn't sit there once I was aware. I did all of my research, and it became just an everyday thing to wake up to for me and be like, how can I be of service? How can I put light to this? How can I give time that I have into this? And that's kind of how it is. I tell all the time when people are like, how can I help? Because a lot of the times with human trafficking, it feels so dark for people. And how can it not? Like, we're selling other humans. It should feel a little heavy. But the beauty of it is that once we are aware that this is happening, we can transmute and alchemize all these feelings into such a positive thing of being like, wait, do I just want to sit here? Or do I want to be part of the shift that's not only helping put a light into this, but whether it's, you can volunteer, you can read about it. I mean, we're in a world now where literally like you can Google everything, right? So it's like, you can research, you can even set up little fundraisers, whether it's like, I don't know, you can have a little party at your house where you can, sell secondhand clothes basically that you don't want to have anymore. I just had actually one of my friends do that, which was really beautiful.
That's so
Because
good.
whether it's $1, $50, $100, the vibration of gifting and blessing other people with what you're able to do and being of service is huge. Like, us humans, like, we don't even realize how powerful we are, let alone together. If all of us come together to really truly be a part of the generation that ends human trafficking, there's documentaries that you can watch, there's podcasts about it. There are so many organizations like Mantari, Our Rescue, Unlikely Heroes. There are so many out there. So it's just a matter of finding one that connects with you.
And still not enough, right? So you know what? It's very interesting. I actually I didn't know a lot about this topic, right? And I was kind of like blind to it, and not because I want to be blind to it, just because no one ever told me about it. And the first time that I really learned a lot about this situation is that when I went to, that's where how I met Chandra. She was on a panel at the UN, and they were screening a movie about human trafficking and about the website Backpage, I believe it is.
Which was shut down
Oh,
because
thank God.
human trafficking, it has been it's not just happening, or it didn't just happen. This has been going on deep rooted into our world's history. It's just been also, some have been hidden and some have been right in front of our own eyes, in our own backyards, in our own cities. And with Backpage, it's a perfect example how it was in front of everyone. Like, so many people went on that website and codes were happening for, what each male or female, young girl, young boy, infant, those are all things that's happening. That's why it's going to take all of us to come together, just like with this pandemic. It's going to take all of us to come together and say, you know what, like, we want to be better. We want a better world. We want a
Enough
new.
is enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so you know what, then that's what you were talking about, that it doesn't matter, how little your contribution is to this topic or other topics. I think it's very important. And recently, a few weeks ago, this girl that I know randomly told me how she was abused, by her mom. She was sold by her mom as a child, and she randomly told me about it. And then she told me, she was like, So why would I tell people about it? Like, what's the purpose of me spreading my message? And I'm like, that's the purpose, because there's people out there like me who have little brothers, who have little cousins, who have neighbors, doesn't matter, who don't really know that this is happening. And if you can just share your story with one person, that person is going to share with other people. And you're going to make an impact in someone's life, because someone's going to be able to identify what's happening.
Yeah.
And bring a stop to it in one way or another. So I think it's important, just to spread the word.
That's one of the most beautiful ways we can actually contribute to helping end human trafficking, is creating that awareness. Education is so key. Not only are there so many documentaries, podcasts, articles online, it's us specifically letting people know, like, yes, this is happening. A lot of the times I think so much with the programming that's happened, and I hear this all the time, they're like, oh, well, in the movies we see, this like rich couple going on vacation, and then they're kidnapped, and so we always just thought it was that, like, there was this stigma of it's over there, it's not here, but it's
Yeah.
here, it's happening in front of our own eyes. And so now it's up to us individually and collectively to create the awareness and decide, what do we want to do about this? Do we want to continue having this global enterprise selling other humans, trafficking other humans, to continue, or do we want to end it and live in a world that's a better world?
And where everyone gets a fair chance, right?
Yeah, listen, where our world right now, it's calling for community. So a lot of our clients have been affected by what's happening with the pandemic, but I've seen and witnessed how beautiful the human spirit is when we choose to come together, and how powerful. So yes, even though we had clients, these are, human trafficking thrivers, right? I call them thrivers because they're not just surviving, who went from this state of, yes, being a victim, surviving, and now thriving and owning their own businesses, working at restaurants and their dream jobs, to losing their jobs. So a lot of us in Mantari, myself, Chandra, Rahana, gathered all our resources, and we were like, this is calling for community more than ever. And, some of our clients lost their housing. So thankfully enough, we have our housing, but it can only fit a certain amount of beds. So we had to call other organizations to see if they had beds available. So I have witnessed how beautiful it is and how powerful humans are when we've decided that we're all one collectively, for the greater good of just like choosing love over fear and being there for each other. And as a result, like, we've been able to raise funds, thankfully, with our partnership with Freedom for All, where we were able to make sure that no one was homeless, that people had food, and also Pandemic of Love. Like, I have to mention them. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. One of my good friends, Shelly, started it, where she basically wanted to help her community in Florida for people who couldn't get groceries. And it grew into this like world phenomenon, in a sense, where people were just giving out, whatever they can to pay people's bills or groceries, whatever people needed at that time, no questions, like nothing attached. So I say that because it's literally the power of all of us together, and the power in numbers, I always say, is just mind-blowing and so impactful. It's just, we have to make the choice. We just have to make the choice to actually do it.
That's so beautiful. And you actually answered my question, my next question that I had about how did the pandemic affect your work at Mantari, which you already said,
Yeah. And we still do. Like, every week, we still make sure we gather, our groceries and give them to those who need them. And again, like, for people who don't think, oh, I'm going to throw a little party and I only, got $100. Well, $100 can literally provide someone with so much food. So I always urge people, like, don't worry about the amount, just come from the vibration of love from your heart, and it's gonna be so much more impactful, because we don't even know, like, $5, $10, it really all makes a difference, especially when it comes to someone's food.
Exactly. And it's just like what you spend on coffee, not even at Starbucks, so it's for a price of coffee, you can really change someone's life.
Right. Oh my God, especially if you're at the airport.
Oh,
I'm like, what? $12 coffee? What's happening?
no, so sidebar, when we were in the mountains with Chandra, we went to this town and and it was like a really nice town. And so I was like thinking Manhattan prices. And like I got a really big latte and a breakfast burrito for under $10. So
Isn't that beautiful where it's,
mhm.
I always am like, it's interesting. Like all these things grow for free. Like Mother Earth provides all of this.
Mhm.
But we charge so much. So
So much, yes, so
that's
much money.
another conversation.
Yes, another conversation for another interview. So my last question for you is, what is your big dream for Mantari? How would you want it to blossom, and like what's next?
So one of our goals for Mentari, so we've wanted to really set everyone up where they are self-sustaining. So our reintegrational housing, for example, a lot of the women that have moved in there maybe didn't have a job when they started or wanted to go to school. So we really guided and mentored them where, okay, what is your specific goal? Your goal is to go to school, become a doctor, and how can we be of guidance to that path so you can succeed? And we had, another beautiful client of ours who wanted to be a chef. So it was kind of partnering with different culinary schools to see if they're able to donate, a scholarship. And
Mhm.
so our goal is really one, to have all of our clients continue thriving in whatever dream job that they have for them. And again, it can change. It's okay. That's part of life, right? um, and to open multiple reintegrational housing where they could be self-sustainable. And also one of the things that we wanted to do is to have an e-commerce where we sell coffee and tea, and so as a result we're able to also provide jobs for people that are joining Mantari, and to eventually have our own little cafe. Speaking of coffee, we won't charge.
Yeah. You want charge $15.
Yeah, exactly. Have a self-sustaining business where we can also provide jobs and continue with a beautiful expansion that Mantari is doing.
That's amazing. That's so beautiful. So just ending, we're going to do our quick rapid fire questions. Um, and then we'll just close off the session. It was so beautiful. So the first question is, what makes you laugh?
What makes me laugh? Life.
Yes.
Like, how can you not? Life is so joyful, and it's just it's full of so many like twists and turns and ups and downs and rise, but it all literally merges to this like one big joyful whole full life.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's beautiful. And by the way, another sidebar, I noticed that there's a butterfly just like going back and forth behind
Oh, I
you.
love butterflies. So since we've moved here, I don't know if I think you had mentioned you um, saw a video that I had. Literally, it's so interesting because the butterflies here, I've always been so connected to the butterfly kingdom.
Mhm.
But so I went to Mother Shasta, to Mount Shasta in California, and had this amazing sisterhood trip with my sisters from Santa Monica Healing. April, if you guys want to know how to continue expanding, please get her book. It's amazing. It's such a beautiful guide to living your life the best way possible, which is wholeness and authentically you. So that's been one of my guides have. But I came back from the trip, and then when I came out meditating, these butterflies would literally, no joke, just land on me.
Uh-huh.
And
They're just
as,
hanging out.
yeah, of course, it's easy to be in that peaceful state when you're up in the mountains for a week, right?
Mhm.
But as life continued, there'd be times where I feel a little stressed, and I would come outside and try to play with them, and they would just flutter around me,
Oh
but
my,
not
that's
land
so
on me. And
beautiful.
the minute I would start meditating and I centered myself back to my oneness with myself and everything around me, it would come. So they've literally, it's so funny that you mentioned that, because they've literally just been my lesson about life and how connected we all are.
Oh, that's so beautiful. So now you have your little friends in the back.
My little fairy friends.
Yes, exactly. So the next quick question is, what's the best thing that happened to you this month?
This month, oh my God. So I am a gratitude list person every day. So many. One, talking to you, of course, and having this platform. The other is, yeah, I went to Mother Shasta, Mount Shasta, and I felt so divinely connected. And I've had so many beautiful activations and just such an amazing expansion where I felt so connected to myself that now I could truly be like this living vibration to so many people.
Hmm.
You know, I always say it starts within us. Like we can't give others and gift others what we don't have. So if we don't have inner peace, how can we teach other inner peace? If we don't truly love all aspects of ourselves, how can we show love to so many people, right? So kind of having that beautiful divine connection there was just really, really, there are no words. It just
Mhm.
was, is magnetic. It was
I love
activating.
it. And you know what? One of my favorite quotes is actually by RuPaul, and he always says it at the end of Drag Race. He says that
Really?
if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love somebody else? And it's
Yes.
true. He always says that, and it's so true, you know?
And it's true, especially now more than ever. Like self love is how we kind of get our power back. We give our power, all of us humans give our power away so much, and then we get depleted, and then we wonder, like, what's happening with me? But there's nothing wrong. It's just a matter of us continuing to keep our cup full. So I have this analogy where, like, if someone bumps into you and there's coffee in there or tea, whatever, for whatever analogy you want to work with, whatever is going to come out is either coffee or tea. So I always say whatever is in your cup, which is like your body bodysuit vessel, I call it, is
Uh-huh.
what's going to outpour. So
Uh-huh. Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. Yeah, I'm telling you, we have to do another live or
yeah,
whatever to just
yeah.
talk about that. So one last question I have, the quick one is, if you could make a documentary about anything, what would it be?
Chandra's story, I think, and not even a documentary, I guess it would kind of be like a biopic because she is such a hero.
Mhm.
Like it makes me tear up to know how much light, like she is a beacon of light to go through something,
Oh, I'm getting chills right now. I know. I
to go
know.
through something as dense as human trafficking. But like every time I talk to her on the phone, every time I see her, she is one of the like happiest, truly happy people I've ever met in my life. And to me, every day, I'm like, she is literally a perfect reflection of no matter what happens, like you make a choice. Either you make this life full of happiness or you continue to live in fear and, you know, all the other things. So it's love or fear.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, those are the two biggest points that really kind of spirals into all of our other actions, right? But yeah, it would be to do a documentary slash biopic into truly what happened to her, because I feel like she's just such a beacon of light, and her success now is just a testament to the beauty of human spirit, that change, and no matter where you come from or what you go through, you literally can have a choice to just be this beautiful, impactful, I call her my butterfly.
Oh, and you know what she is? She's always running on and smiling and feeding people and
Yeah,
She became a
she's
selfie queen, I have to tell you.
yeah, she's a beautiful butterfly, just so loving. And God, how amazing! Like I feel so honored to be in Mantari with her and all of the village of beautiful humans who dedicate their lives to being impactful. And you too, you know. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Of course. Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love Chandra. She's the most amazing person. Like if you every time like I send her story to someone like a YouTube link, everyone's like, how can I help? This is insanely amazing. Yeah,
She's
she's
so powerful. My other nickname for her is Mighty Mouse.
oh really? I
Like
have
you're
to
Mickey Mouse. You can literally do everything, like
uh,
anything. Like
I'm
she's
gonna
just
call her that next time I see
yeah,
her.
just Mickey Mouse. She's so little and tiny, but so powerful. You
Uh-huh,
know.
uh-huh. Exactly, exactly. I love that so much. So just to close this off, like how can we connect with you and Mantari? Like what
Well,
are
with
some ways?
Mantari, so with donations, you can Venmo or PayPal. A lot of people ask me that all the time to mentariusa@gmail.com. And for I guess the social handle, like again, see me being an alien. Like social media. So social media, it's Mantari USA, and for me, it's Tiffany Panhilason. I did it before I got married, so.
So you're just not gonna change it
So
for
that's there. It takes forever to change, and also Instagram won't allow me because it's too long. So
Oh yeah, never mind.
there,
We have to call the CEO or something.
oh, goodness. There are other things in the ocean to
Yeah.
to focus on, I always
Yeah,
say.
exactly. Then take your time for that.
Right.
Alrighty, thank you so much for this. This was so beautiful. We're all gonna connect with you. This will be available on our social channels, and I hope to connect with you soon again.
Yeah, so much love to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.